Okay, what's going on? Vincent Rapsardi, Big Blue, Unbiased.com. Thank you to those who've liked, commented, and subscribed. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys can give this video a thumbs up, if you can comment, I would appreciate that as well. Gets the algorithm going, gets more people to watch. Remember, we have a sponsor, Manscaped.com. 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code BBU, as in Big Blue Unbiased, BBU, the promo code, 20% off plus free shipping. You can get one of these, the Lawnmower 3.0, which shaves your balls. Also, someone asked me about this in the comment section a few days ago. They also have one of these kind of things for your nose. You can trim your nose hair and your ear hair and all that kind of stuff. Manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code BBU. Okay, let's get to Giants football. Dave Gettleman talked to the media today. I'm filming this on Thursday, and I'll be publishing it on Friday morning. But he was asked about potentially trading back, which he's never done in the first round, in the previous 8 first rounds as general manager of the Panthers and the Giants. There was a report by Ian Rappaport, I guess a rumor he had put out a few days ago saying that the Giants were considering it. That's something that they would consider. I don't really care too much about draft rumors. I think a lot of it is just smoke and mirrors. I think that teams just put things out to see how other teams react. Interestingly enough, the Eagles put out last week, I think they put out, but it was reported or rumored that they were willing to trade back into the top 10 and potentially take Jalen Waddle, the Alabama wide receiver. And then the Giants put that out, which I do think that they put that out just a couple of days ago, that they were interested in potentially trading back. I don't care about any trade rumors, and not for nothing, but you should be considering all options. If you're the general manager of a team, especially if you're picking 11th overall, they're not looking for a quarterback in the first round. There's not one position that they desperately need that there's just great value there and the perfect player just to plug in and fill a huge need. Really, they can go in any direction, and I think that they would get good value for the upcoming season and moving forward in years ahead because they got their wide receiver one. They got Golladay. They got Adoree Jackson, their cornerback, too. They added some other pieces as well, so they're really not in a position where there's just a desperate need in the first round. They could go on the offensive line with Rashawn Slater, and he could play guard, but they're not really in a position where there's just a position they have to take. So it only makes sense for Dave Gettleman and for any general manager, I feel like in any draft, unless you just need a quarterback and there's the perfect prospect there, as we're going to see in this draft with a couple of teams, unless that's the case, you should always be considering all options and potentially trading back depending on what package you can get in return, and that's what Gettleman talked about today. He's tried to trade back, and I'm paraphrasing here, he's tried to trade back in recent years, but he said that he's not going to get fleeced. If he's going to trade back, he wants to find a team that is willing to move into that spot and give up a good amount of picks and potentially players, whatever it might be. You can respect that. I think that's what you would want. You don't want your GM just giving away a draft pick just because everyone's saying you should trade back. I think the Giants are in a great position to trade back this season. It was tough last year. Apparently, it was rumored. I don't know if it's definitely true. The only people that know are the people that were in the room. But rumored last year that they were willing to trade the number 4 overall pick, move back, and potentially take an offensive lineman maybe somewhere around the 10th pick. Obviously, we don't know who would be involved in that trade. But they were willing to trade back because it was a good class of offensive tackles with Wirfs, with Becton, with Andrew Thomas, Jedrick Wills. There were a bunch of good offensive tackles in last year's draft, so they didn't really need to take an offensive tackle at 4. If they found a good trade partner, they could have moved back. They didn't find that trade. It is what it is. I still think that Andrew Thomas was a nice pick for them, and I think he'll be fine moving forward. Had his bumps in the road, but I think he'll be fine. But I do think this season they really are in the perfect position to trade their pick because, like I said, they don't need... There's not a player they desperately need at 11, and I think there are going to be a couple of quarterbacks around that pick that will be available that teams are going to like, whether that's Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, one of those guys, somebody like that I think is going to be available around the Giants pick, and there's going to be a team that says, oh, wow, that player's still on the board. We could use him as our franchise quarterback. Let's trade up. And I think that's the perfect opportunity for the Giants to trade back. But like Gettleman said, he's not going to get fleeced. He needs to make a trade that he feels like he gets legitimate value. If he doesn't, then he's probably just going to sit there and he's going to do what he does every first round. He's going to take a player at the spot in which he was originally given that pick, given that selection. He's not going to move, and he's going to take a player in that slot. So that's that. He also commented on Kyle Pitts, saying that he's a different breed. And Kyle Pitts, I don't want to group him in with other previous first-round tight ends, but it just doesn't seem like first-round tight ends really ever live up to expectation. They never just become an absolute dominant force. I think we're still kind of waiting on like Noah Fant, Hawkinson, Ebron. I'm not saying that those types of players haven't been productive, but I think we all expected a little bit more out of some of these players. And Font's only been around for a couple years, and I understand that, this and that, but you also consider Pitts. He just reminds me a little bit too much of Evan Ingram. It kind of seems like deja vu, where Pitts seems like a great receiving option, but you wonder if he's really a tight end. Is he really a tight end? If he's not going to be able to block well, then I don't really consider him much of a tight end. I think that's the truly underrated aspect of the position. We've talked about so many times, all of us, Evan Ingram, he's going to create a mismatch on a linebacker and this and that. Has it really stood out to you that much over the past 4 or 5 years? I guess it's been 5 seasons now. It hasn't. Let's be real. Let's be real. It just hasn't, because he's really not a tight end. He doesn't fit the position. He doesn't block well. It hurts the run game. And I'm not saying Kyle Pitts can't be a step up from Evan Ingram, because Evan Ingram, 11 drops last season. I'm sure he'll be a better receiver than Evan Ingram. But my worry is, if I were a team trying to take him there's some mock drafts where they're thinking that he's a top 5 pick, which I think is way too high. If I'm taking him top 10, top 11, somewhere in that area, I would hope that he's more of a complete tight end. And I don't think you're getting that out of Kyle Pitts. Again, I'm not saying he's not a good player and he's not going to be a playmaker at the next level. But for me, if I'm the Giants, I don't think I could take another chance at taking another Evan Ingram kind of player. So that's basically that. Not too much was taken from Gettleman's press conference. That's really it. I will soon have some live YouTube live videos, I guess that's what you call it. We'll do some live streams. Moving forward, especially as the draft approaches, which is very soon. So thanks for watching. Vince Rapsardi, Big Blue, Unbiased.com.